Before I go any further on this, I wanted to stop, especially for you Patreon 3 guys, and explain what we've got here. This is the fiber overlay that Gibson used from the factory. So when I skimmed off that original fiber, I just wanted to show you what I used here. I have a piece of brass shim stock to protect the end of the fingerboard from the sander. Anyways, we got this where we want it. Now the next step, of course, these overlays are slightly oversized. So what I did was I ran a couple of pieces of masking tape around. I made up these tapered indexing plugs. So these two plugs basically hold this thing centered. Then I traced with a pencil all the way around, and then I cut along the line, leaving a little bit more than we think we need. And now I'll work that down on the edge of the conversion kit sander for the drill press. So I'm not bringing this down to the finished dimension, I'm just bringing it a lot closer. Especially this I will work by hand and get that as close as possible so that after we glue it on, there'll be very little left to sort of deal with. Not trying to finish it here, just kind of bringing it in much closer. So this is our dry run setup. I'll mix up that 24-hour aviation epoxy after lunch, and then we'll set this aside for the day. So there's my clamping configuration for that overlay. This is 24-hour aviation epoxy. So I cut that back pretty close to the finished size. So the rest I will scrape and sand flush with the razor blade, and then we'll be on to finishing. Now, although this is a 24 to 36 hour aviation epoxy, it gels in about an hour and then fully cures in 24 to 36 hours. Very few things that I use this epoxy for. This is one of them. Just taking our plugs out, still can. And that we shall set aside for a full day, and we'll be back to sort of just do that final trimming all the way around. all the structural stuff is done. Now we'll get it out to Darcy for finishing.